You probably thought about the next step in your career and your relationship, but what about planning for kids? That's why Modern Fertility was created. It's the easy and affordable way to test your fertility hormones at home. You'll get insight into your hormone levels, how many eggs you have, and other important fertility factors. The results go deep into what every hormone means, and you can also talk one-on-one with a fertility nurse. Traditional testing with your doctor can cost over $1,000, but Modern Fertility gets you the same info for only $159. And if you go to modernfertility.com/iheartme, you can get $20 off your test. That's $20 off when you go to modernfertility.com/iheartme.
Choosing how you want to buy a car at CarMax is kind of like picking music. What are you in the mood for? In-store? Online? Or a combination of the two? Because whatever you're in the mood for, we'll match your vibe. With car buying that suits your style, you'll be able to find your perfect fit in a way that fits you, well, perfectly. CarMax, the way it should be.
Take your trade-in game to the next level at CarMax and get a real offer for your car in 2 minutes or less. Just head to CarMax.com and answer a few questions to score your offer in no time flat. You can accept it straight away or take a full week to shop it around and think it over. And at CarMax, we'll buy your car even if you don't buy ours. So if it's time to trade in your ride, get ahead of the game with an instant offer from CarMax. Real offers, real fast.
We're pretty messed up, hey! We're pretty messed up, hey! We're pretty messed up!
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Pretty Messed Up on iHeartRadio. I'm AJ McLean with my girl Cheryl Burke and my boy Renee Elizondo.
Hey.
We have an amazing show today, and we have a very special guest, a very handsome guest, I must say. You may know him from The Bachelorette, Mr. Zach Clark. Welcome to the show, my friend.
What's up, AJ? How you doing, man? Can you guys
Welcome.
Yes, sir. We can hear you. We can see you.
Yep.
Welcome.
This is my co-host Renee Elizondo,
Hello.
and my other co-host Cheryl Burke.
Hi,
from
how are
Dancing
you?
with the Stars.
Your co-host and ex-partner, dance partner.
And
don't
ex-partner,
forget.
yes, partner
Ex.
in life. Welcome to the show, man. Just to kind of give you a bit of a backstory about Pretty Messed Up. All three of us, our lives have pretty much all crashed and burned, nosedive directly into a pool with no water, and we've all found a way out the other side. We are all in recovery. We're all sober, and we know that your story is quite similar, my friend. So I think you're a perfect fit. Welcome to the show, man.
Yes, welcome. Thank you for doing this.
finally around some people who get it, you know?
Yeah, hey.
Seriously, to anyone else,
Love
we're
it.
just
We love
nuts.
Yeah, exactly. So
We're the best, though. We're the best.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean,
we are not boring. That's for damn sure.
so let's just dive right in, man. Obviously, one of the great things about this show is that, we try to just lay it all out on the line and let people just tell their story and just let people hopefully inspire others out there that are, dealing with issues, whether mental health or drugs, alcohol abuse. I mean, it's a very common thread out there that not a lot of people, take seriously or really take note of, especially mental health issues. So, if you want, just give us a little bit of a backstory about how it all went south and how you came back out the other side.
You want the clip notes, I assume, right? I mean,
yeah.
We've got a lot more questions for you.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm a guy. I grew up down in right outside of Philly in South Jersey, and I always say I never wanted for anything. I mean, I have loving parents to this day, an older brother that beat up on me, a sister that loves me, the whole thing. I mean, the Clark family were thick as thieves. But from an early age, I knew I was living this double life, and I always kind of explain, in high school, you try to get your 12-pack of Natty Light and your flask of Captain Morgan for the weekend, right? I would always say, I loved playing sports. I loved, kissing girls and all that stuff. But the most joy and like relief and comfort came when like, the senior pulled into the parking lot, he popped his trunk, and I was able to grab my booze for the weekend. And that's when I knew that my relationship to alcohol was a little bit different than those around me. I partied in high school, I partied in college, and like, I just loved it, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I didn't have a good time doing it, because I did.
Exactly.
And that's, for me, I work in addiction recovery. So I'm looking at like 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids all the time.
Totally.
And it's really hard to understand whether it's just a phase or whether they have this thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. So, I do Dancing with the Stars. I've been a professional now for way too long. Just kidding, in a good way though. And AJ did Dancing with the Stars just recently. And, I'm not going to speak for you, AJ, but, doing a show like that and then being newly sober, right? Would you have been able to do The Bachelorette if you were like 1 or 2 years sober? Would you even want to do something like this? Because I know that, as far as I know from behind the scenes, just it requires you don't have to, but it does have a lot of alcohol in that environment. So were you triggered at all, or would you have done it earlier?
Look, I'm 37 years old. I've almost been sober 10 years. Those first couple years, like I was just as crazy as I was when I was out there, drinking, drugging. So to answer your question, like I might have done it. I might have showed up. I don't know how well I would have done, but I reached a point in my life, I want to say probably about 2 years in, where I became so convinced that my life was just the best. Like I looked at all my friends who were still doing what they were doing, and I said to myself, like, I wouldn't trade this for anything. And once I hit that point, like, then that's when I think I was able to like take the risk. And, I don't think I kissed a girl for the first 3 years of my sobriety. Like that's like, I was dialed into what to get well.
I love that you said, I'm not going to lie, there were good times, right? Because sometimes people, in sort of trying to sort of sell sobriety, they act like everything was terrible. And I tell people, I was having a great time. We are crazy because we keep doing it after all the bad signs are there. But early on, it's not like we're not crazy like break into someone's house and do their dishes kind of crazy. Do you know what I mean? We're nutty in a different way. We're like, we found something that made us feel safe and protected and pretty awesome while it worked, and then it's hard to get off. So I love that you're in the field of recovery and hearing the way you talk, because I feel young people need to get that kind of like honesty. Like, look, we get it. We had a good time. It's just kind of turned on us, right? So I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you come with, go ahead.
No, I mean, like, and that was crucial for me, right? Like I grew up like in a small town right outside of Philly. I when I eventually got sober, I went to rehab for 4.5 months, and I moved up to New York City. And one of the reasons I think it stuck for me is because I walked and met some people that were doing this thing, and there was kind of like this whole underground movement, and I was like, holy shit, now this is cool. Like this is actually something I could get behind. And once I saw that and met some, like I remember I went out to dinner with a couple guys my age, 2 weeks after I moved to New York City. I wrote my parents like this email, like, I think I met my crew. Like, I met some guys my age, and they're like super interesting. And it's like the little wins early on that kept me going,
Totally.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, like for all of us, I know for myself, it obviously worked until it didn't, and me being in the kind of, limelight that I'm in, and my band is going to be celebrating next month 29 years together, which is freaking insane.
That's insane.
I'm old, man. I'm old, but I feel young. But it's like when you're in that kind of a situation where it's constantly around you, where you're constantly, being put in these compromising situations where, whether it's a parties or it's, promo tours or it's, TV shows, whatever it is, award shows, where again, there's no way to get away from the alcohol and drugs of the entertainment business. That is just par for the course.
Totally.
But again, knowing how to maneuver around these things and through these things to be able to have some kind of a normal life. I mean, look, my wife is in Al-Anon. She has been put through the fucking ringer with my crazy ass we're about to celebrate 10 years married this year. In about 2 weeks, we'll be together for 12 years. And my question to you is with, Tasha, like, understanding that you are an addict, the way that we think, the way that we are is different than normies. It just is. It doesn't matter how much time we have sober. We still think and act differently. We still apply those addictive traits to certain things, whether it's working out or it's a diet or it's whatever it is. Have you and her talked about like boundaries or like any kind of structure
or even awareness?
Or right? Structure and like awareness between the two of you. I mean, because that's got to be really important for most relationships with addicts.
Yeah. Well, the first thing I think that came to mind when you started talking there, I didn't know you were going to kind of like go into the direction of Tasha, but like when you're talking about your wife and boundaries and all that stuff, like I think like the reason I'm sitting here today is actually because my ex-wife kept a boundary with me, right? Like I was ripping and running, and I went to rehab the first time, and I came out of treatment, and I thought I had everyone fooled. I did the 28-day rinse and repeat.
Same.
And she called me like 2 weeks into it, and she said, like, time out, dude. Like, this party's over. I'm out of here. Wow. And that was the first time in my life where I really got like punched in the face by someone close to me, and where they were just like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Wow.
And I had to
take
go
some
run.
balls, man.
Yeah, but I had like at the time, right? Like, and this is a great way to explain like the way we think, because when I'm active and I'm in it, like I called her every name in the book. How could you give up on me? You're weak. Like really, she was saving my life, and I had to go rip and run for another 8 months, and then end up back in treatment. But
so
yeah,
it was a blessing. That was a blessing.
Well, that was the same. That was the same for me. I mean, that's exactly the same. I was in treatment twice while being with my wife, and both times when I got out, I put together some time, and then I said, okay, I got this. I can manage it. And all the while, she's completely aware of what I'm doing, but I was still trying to play the game.
There's so much about fertility that is a complete mystery. That's where the modern fertility hormone test comes in. It's the easy and affordable way to get important fertility insight at home with a simple finger prick. Mail it in with a prepaid label, and you'll get your personalized results within 10 days. Traditional testing with your doctor can cost over $1,000, but modern fertility gets you the same info for only $159, a fraction of the price. And if you go to modernfertility.com/iHeartMe, you can get $20 off your test. Also, if you have an HSA or FSA, you can put those dollars toward the modern fertility test. You'll get insight into your hormone levels, how many eggs you have, and other important fertility factors. The results go deep into what every hormone means, and you can also talk one-on-one with a fertility nurse to review your results and options for next steps. Get $20 off your test when you go to modernfertility.com/iHeartMe. That's $20 off when you go to modernfertility.com/iHeartMe.
Do you wonder where your food comes from? More and more people do. America's corn farmers work hard every day to grow a crop that you can be proud to serve your family. And they're doing it with an eye toward sustainability, caring for water, air, soil, and resources that fuel healthy families and more sustainable products. Take a look to find out how farmers in rural America work to make life better for all of us, from cities to their rural communities. Learn more at ncga.com. NCGA, a commitment to the future.
In a rapidly changing world, people wonder more and more about where their food comes from and how it was grown. The farmers who grow America's corn understand how important this is and want to share the stories from our farms of how we are working to grow an incredible crop that can be an answer to sustainability questions and is grown by men and women who value the air, water, soil, and our natural resources just like you. To find out more about how corn farmers are working to feed and fuel a vibrant economy and healthy planet, visit ncga.com. NCGA, a commitment to the future.
You know, one thing I love about having sober friends is that we can laugh at each other, like some of the crazy things we did, because we're no longer there. You know, I've been to rehab more times than I care to mention right now, and if it finally was able to stick. But I remember this one guy said what he did was he replaced his windshield wiper fluid, right, with vodka, and then he rerouted the hose that sprays the window. He rerouted it to the inside of the car, and he said that way he wouldn't get caught with an open container.
Way.
And so anytime he wanted a drink in the car, he would do this, and then he'd press the button and he'd have his drink. And we like, that's funny to me. Obviously it's tragic while it's happening, but it's amazing how crafty we are. My question to you is, so how old were you when you got to your first rehab?
So, yeah, I just want to say, AJ, on Tasha, just real quick, because I do want to answer that question, because she's been awesome. You know, one of the things leading up to kind of letting her know what's up with me, you know, on the show, and kind of having those conversations, there's a lot of questions from people around me, like, are you nervous about how she's going to take it? Right. And that's one of the things that I think is important for people to hear. Like, I wasn't, because like, I'm so proud of who I am, and I own my shit today, and like, I lean into that. And when I do that, typically the person on the other side of the table, it's like, it's impressive to them. They want to know more, and we hit it off. If that person doesn't receive that well, it's all good. We just move forward, and this wasn't meant to be.
Well, that's kind of a tell. That's for me, that would be kind of a tell on the other person's point. Like, okay, so you're not ready to be with someone like me, even though I've got my shit together. You know, this just might not be a perfect fit.
And I agree. It causes more fear. Like if you had tried to hide it and then suddenly she finds out, then that causes the fear, which causes the insecurities. And I agree. I think when I meet someone and they say they're sober and they're proud of it because they're enjoying the fruits of sobriety, that is really attractive as far as I'm concerned, you know.
Agreed.
Yeah, she was awesome. And I got it. I went to treatment the first time, Thanksgiving 2010. So I was like 20, what's that, 11 years ago? I'm 37, so I was 26 years old at the time. And like I said, I was there through like Thanksgiving, came out in December, kind of, you know, like I wasn't done.
You weren't ready. Yeah.
And then that whole thing happened, which I just talked about. And I ran until that August. And then I had like my spirit, like my moment of clarity with my old man, kind of like ripping me out of a bank when I was trying to cash one of his checks. And at that point, like, you know, I had basically crossed every never off my list, you know, like I was just putting stuff inside my body however I could, you know.
Take us through the timeline of, because then the painkillers came at one point, right? After the tumor.
Yeah. It's always funny, right? Like everyone, like
the way you ask the question.
No, that's the thing about normies. So they always want to know, what were you doing? What you like?
Yeah.
Whatever you got, you know?
Yeah.
It was, but yeah, I mean, I had been introduced to painkillers like in college, you know, or you know, your buddy gets his wisdom tooth pulled and you try a perk 10 or a perk 5 or whatever it is. But then like I had the brain tumor and I was laid up and I was just like, yo, I just got this thing cut out of my head and this doctor's like pumping me with this thing that's making me feel way too good right now.
Yeah.
And that's when I really realized like, okay. And then the vicious cycle for me was like, I recovered from that. And then I went back to work.
Yeah. You
know, that like the euphoria that comes with like early opiate use, I was like crushing work. I was like, I can't do anything without this stuff. Yeah. And that's how and then that's when like I started to get like, we tell ourselves a lie that like, I'm a better friend, I'm a better worker, I'm better this, I'm better that, I'm a better husband. Like, and you know, it took off from there for sure.
How long did that last? The pill thing? That was my thing, by the way. That was my drug of choice, were painkillers.
Yeah, it was different. I mean, like, you know, when I was using back, I mean, like pills were dirt cheap. Like you could get these, you know, Oxycontin 80s and these Perk 30s for, you know, much cheaper than I understand they're paying today. And so like, I found out about that game quickly after the surgery, and I started playing it, and I played it up until treatment. So that was probably like, I don't know, 2-3 years.
Mhm.
And
Wow.
times of like trying to whatever, like do the at-home rehab or, swear it off and all that junk. But I
Right.
also love to party. Like I love to booze. Right. So that was always there as well. And I always, for me, like it always started with the drink,
Mhm,
and that's
mhm.
wherever it
Same.
took me.
Same.
I have a question. So you say that and it's really sweet that your parents were there and supportive throughout this whole process. That's right, right? I'm getting that information right. I just want to make sure that, that's right. Your parents, both parents, is that right?
Yeah. Lucky, married,
Yeah.
supportive, like
Still,
not
okay.
without, I mean, like, because of me, right? Like they say
Right.
there's a family illness. The second time around, my old man was like, my mom was spending a lot of time at the place in Florida, and he was up here because they just couldn't get on the same page with what to do with me.
Right, right, right.
My
Okay.
dad was the one who really like stayed on the ropes with me
Awesome.
and hung tough, because I was doing dope. I was smoking. I mean, like
Right.
it was bad at the end there,
Just gonna say, I was wondering if your dad was in the program. A lot of times, a lot of our friends, their parent, one of the parents was in the program and understood what was happening, or was he discovering what addiction is like through you?
Yeah, there was no prior family
Mhm.
experience with this thing, so everyone was learning on the fly, which, for better or for worse.
What advice do you have for parents that may have a similar situation, but they just have no freaking clue on how to be there for their kids?
It's changed over the years. Like I used to really believe in the kind of like throw them on the street, let them suffer, like,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just not it, man. Like I think we have to be loved. We have to feel love. Like we hear it, even though we might not act like it, So for parents, like just to love, 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 and like
Yeah.
to put your life mask on or your whatever
Yeah.
oxygen mask
First,
on,
yeah.
get your own therapist, go to Al-Anon. There's plenty of kind of support groups, and be willing to like get in the ring with us and do the work.
Yeah.
The thing that sucks, right? Like, and AJ, you probably identify with this. Like, I went to treatment for 28 days, and like that was 28 days, and then 4.5 months, and 4.5 months of like around the clock support for me. And my parents are out there in the real world, like trying to cover for me and also like do the, but like if I got 4.5 months, they might have gotten 4 days of support, so they're really the
Right.
ones that are kind of left behind in all this.
Oh no, for sure. I mean, for me, it was a little different because my mom, after I got sober the first time, decided she was going to become a life coach. And I love my mom dearly, but as we all love our moms, but, it kind of disrupted our relationship, because then it became like when I would call to talk to my mom, am I talking to my mom or am I talking to a life coach right now? Because there's a difference. I want to talk to my mom on like a mom-son level. And, and then I had friends, even my bandmates, who never really thought that I had a problem. It's like, you're not really an alcoholic. You just go from 0 to 100 too many times. You just gotta, pump the brakes here and there. And it's like, until I could really come to terms with it and say it out loud, yes, I am an alcoholic. There is no question, was I born this way? No, but it's the disease of alcoholism got me by the balls, and the rest is history.
Nobody knows this. A lot of people don't even know it's a disease, right? So it's like just the awareness of it. Like that's the main issue. That's the hardest part, is admitting it.
Well,
that
that's
you have a problem.
that's your first step, obviously.
Yeah.
On your road to recovery is obviously admitting that your life has become unmanageable. And but what I love about your story so much, Zach, is that, because here's the thing: there's a lot of people out there that are in the public eye, that are in recovery, that leave it at that. They don't get involved in any charities. They don't get involved in anything further. Now, here's someone like you who has gone the extra mile because you want to be there for your fellow brothers and sisters that are struggling. And you and Justin Gerlin, you founded Release Recovery. Tell us a little bit about that, because I just, hats off to you and to Justin.
We'd like to know more about it. Yeah.
Man, Release, it was built on a dream. So our favorite band is Pearl Jam. My favorite song of all time is Release. That's where the name of the business came from. So that's that's the music nod. There's something special that happens when you watch someone else like walk through the pain and come out on the other side. And it became apparent to me really early on after like leaving rehab and living this, right? Like really feeling this and living it and knowing what it did for my life, that I wanted to just give it to as many people as possible. So
awesome.
Release Recovery is kind of like the brainchild, and we've done a lot with it, but we have essentially 3 transitional living programs for men and women coming out of rehab to come buckle up with us. And they typically stay with us like 3 to 6 months. And we watch them kind of get back into the world. And 2 in the city in Manhattan and 1 north of the city in Westchester County. And, you know, it's amazing to watch these people. I just got a text message that one of our guys just celebrated a year right before I got on.
Wow.
Like, that dude got
Congratulations.
That dude, you know, like,
yeah.
And that's all I need. And then we also just in early 2020 started a nonprofit Release Recovery Foundation. Not too creative over here, but you know, we've worked in like kind of the private pay world for a long time. It's just kind of like where we fell, you know. So we've dealt with these families that can really afford these services for many, many years. And Justin and I looked at each other one day. I was like, we got to start touching more people. And so this is going to really be our give back. And we did a t-shirt fundraiser a couple months ago, and
awesome.
And raised.
How did you and Justin meet?
How we meet?
How did you?
You know, how we meet in this world? You know, like I thought I was actually, I think, chasing a girl, and the girl, being a good sober girl, said, "Here, meet my friend Justin." You know, and Justin took me out for a burger. And,
love at first sight.
Yeah, the rest is
Would you ever do Dancing with the Stars?
Would I ever do it?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Okay, well, it's a ballroom dance show.
Okay.
And you have people like us, professional dancers, teach you how to cha-cha, samba, rumba, paso doble, jive, and many more in less than a week. And you go out there and you're competing against other contestants like your soon-to-be wife, maybe, would possibly do it. Who knows? And you're learning how to ballroom dance in about 4 days. And you put on something glittery and shake your ass.
And the whole world watches you.
But I will say
the whole world watches you. But what I'm thinking is that just to continue to spread this awareness, you know, I think it's awesome for you to, I'm going to be your manager now, to do stuff like this. Like, I know this whole world is different, right? And it's new to you. Is it new to you, the entertainment business?
Oh, yeah.
It is. Yeah. You must be.
But it's an amazing platform.
But you seem really grounded. So that's great. Yeah.
Look, when I did the show, you know, coming from a dancer background and a performing background, everybody thought, oh, he's a shoo-in to win. And let me just tell you, hell no. Because I've been doing hip-hop and jazz and stuff like that my whole life. This is something I've never done. But it was an amazing platform to be able to spread awareness. Yes. You know, one of our routines that we did, which was the rumba, I dedicated to anyone out there dealing with addiction. And it was a beautiful performance, showing kind of through like dance where I was and where I ended up. But it is a great opportunity, you know, for people to spread awareness for whatever they're working on.
So I'm curious what Cheryl said. Do you think you would try something like that?
Have you ever danced? It's better not to have any dance experience, FYI.
I mean, I've never lacked a hustle on the dance floor, how good it is, you know. And I mean, after AJ explains it, I mean, how do you say no? I mean, look,
right? Wait, you didn't like my explanation or what?
Because I'm the one doing it. You're the one that knows what you're doing. I'm the one that doesn't know what I'm doing.
Well, you know, we're talking sobriety today, and like the one thing I always say, like, if you would have given me a blank piece of paper on day one of my sobriety, and I wrote down like a couple things or what I thought would be like a great life, I would have sold myself so short. So like these questions and these like. I'm just gonna keep showing up, you know, as things come
totally. Yeah. So you would. So is that a yes? That's a yes. I'm assuming. Yes.
You hear it first. No, but I love what you just said. The very last thing you said, because it's very, very true for anyone out there that's struggling. You just got to show up. You just got to keep showing up, you know. And it's like my sponsor told me, you know, when you don't want to do something, that means you should do it. If you don't want to go to a meeting that day, you should probably go to a meeting that day. Because, you know, when you start to get complacent with your life, because this is a life or death thing, you know, I mean, that's what people need to understand out there, is that this is a disease and this is a life or death thing. And if you get complacent with your recovery, yeah, it's not going to end well, you know? Cause years ago I had 7 years sober straight in a row, but I was just white knuckling that shit. I wasn't doing what was asked of me. I wasn't doing what was suggested. And as we know, I ended up crashing and burning for many years to come. And, you know, now I've got 15 months sober, but it's different this time. It's different. I'm actually doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's amazing how much has changed already. And, you know, it's such a beautiful thing to see someone like yourself who is recently in the public eye, but has a platform to really spread awareness and is doing something so good, like Release Recovery.
You know,
I mean,
but even starting it before all of this Hollywood business stuff.
Yeah, I wanted to say that the fact that you said to us, you got a text that someone you were lucky enough to help got a year, to me, that has to be the priority, right? That everything else is icing on the cake. But for us to get a chance to see people come in, torn up, hopeless, no faith, nothing, and then all the lights come back on. So I'm just stoked that you told us that. Mm-hmm. And I'm stoked at how happy you got when you said it, you know, because same way with sobriety, people don't understand, that don't have to understand, is that you think it's about stopping the drink and the drug, right? And it turns out that's such a small part of what we get here. And with Dancing with the Stars, sort of watching AJ go through it, he thought it was about dance.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's about testing your mettle.
I whipped your ass.
Getting to that point every time where you're calling me going, dude, I don't know if I could keep doing this. Okay, stop right
there. Don't convince him not to do it.
Oh, sorry.
No, but it is.
He looks like he could
cut a rug.
It was in turn, yes. Was I learning dancing? Was, you know, stuff that I'd never done? Yes. But what I really learned was more about myself. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was a very inward reflecting experience. And, you know, again, just to be able to utilize the platforms that we have to spread awareness for people out there that are struggling. It's, you know, let me ask you this. During this whole pandemic right now, I mean, have you seen a major influx in Release Recovery and, you know, what you and Justin are doing, like at these houses that people are coming out of treatment? You know, I don't even know if people that were in treatment, if they got kicked out of treatment when this whole thing shut down. I don't know how any of this happened. So have you seen like a major influx right now because of this?
Yeah, we're you know, like my dream is, right, to put myself out of business, like be so good at our job that people don't need us anymore. But I don't think that's happening anytime soon. No, with COVID, I mean, look, we're going to see mental illness shoot up. We're going to see drug addiction, alcoholism shoot up. People that, you know, didn't have drinking problems previously, locked up in their apartment for a year, now do. A lot of people started to enter treatment, I think, over the last couple months. And we're on a wait list now in both of our men's programs. And, you know, it's not something, like I said, to be proud about, but at least people are reaching out and, you know, taking aftercare recommendations. And, you know, like we've really taken this approach with our brand that we don't want to be, you know, like you get the flyer for the treatment center, like this looks like the hokiest shit I've ever seen. Like we want to make it look cool. We want to inspire people to do more and empower them to know that like literally anything is possible. And like if I've done anything, you know, in this little like past year, I hope like that our community recognizes that like 10 years ago I had a needle in my arm, and now like I'm sitting here talking to you guys about all these crazy experiences. Right. But it's not, that doesn't happen to just anyone, you know. So
right.
And the more you do stuff like this, the better.
What's on the horizon for you, sir? What do you have coming up next for you?
Besides Dancing with the
Stars, season 30.
Dancing with the Stars.
So I'm in a new relationship, right? And, you know, we're kicking it in New York and, you know, learning that we both live really busy lives. I love my work, like I don't ever feel like I'm working. So I'm back doing that and doing what I love. Early April, we're going to do, I'm doing an endurance challenge. There's like this David Goggins thing. We're going to go run,
cool.
whatever. We're going to do 48 and like try to raise some money. I'm going to do London and New York in terms of marathons later in the year. And, try to like kick some ass and help some people along the way.
Yeah, dude.
Get ready for that season.
Dude, Goggins is one of the most inspirationally intense people I've ever seen. I mean, my trainer mentioned Goggins to me about 6 months ago. And because obviously I had heard about the Murph challenge and stuff like that. But then when I really did some research about David Goggins, just the way he thinks and the way he operates is just like, there is no can't. Like there literally is zero can't in your life. Everything is possible. And a buddy of mine actually asked me to do the challenge, and I'm like, I'm not there yet, bro. I still got I got a lot more upper body to work on before I can be doing like 100 pull-ups and like, what the hell? Hell no. I could barely run 2 miles right now without my knees going south on me, So
how can people get a hold of you? Like, meaning your program, like what website can they go to?
Like you can email me. I don't give a shit. Like it's
just
DAC@releaserecovery.com. You can go to our website, releaserecovery.com. I'm accessible. I'm just a guy, like I don't
love that.
The thing that has come of this, and AJ, I'm sure you relate, is like just getting all these DMs and people like dumping shit on you. I'm sure like when you did the dance and like people saw that, and my sister
AJ didn't have Instagram on his phone, so
but like just trying to like where I got to be a little graceful myself. It's like I can't be everything to everyone. Like I can't possibly respond to,
of course,
because I'll forget about myself.
Yes, absolutely, you're right.
Is having children on your radar?
Yeah, I want kids.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But not now. It's you get real busy. Make sure you take care of everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's it's something that I've and that was something I kind of like at a younger age. I always wanted to be a dad, and then I kind of like lost that, and it came back recently. So
nice.
Both myself and Renee are both fathers. My youngest daughter saved my life. I mean, honestly, I could say both my kids, but my youngest daughter is the one that really, when I came back from a solo trip to Vegas, when I was definitely not there was no sobriety on the, horizon. I thought I was going to keep getting away with shit. And when I got home and she said I didn't smell like her daddy, that was it to me. Like that, it doesn't get any lower for me personally than that. And now, I don't joke about it, but it just fills my heart every single day. Like almost 5 out of 7 days a week now for the past few months, she will sit next to me and go, "You smell like my daddy." And it's just like, okay.
And sometimes she says, "You smell."
Or yeah, she might say, "I just smell." But I mean, but it's just, these are the upsides to sobriety. And it really is such a beautiful way to live and to have a second chance. I mean, look, all of us here have been given multiple chances on life, and it's whether you want to do something about it or just let it go to the wayside and either end up in jails, institutions, or dead, because that's all you have. There's no other options, So it's just amazing to see, what you've accomplished, where you've come from, and where you continue to go.
And if you're ever in LA, we should hook up. We went golfing, the three of us, the other day.
It's amazing.
Next is mountain biking, and if you're into any of that stuff, race car driving, boating. If you're into any of those things when you're in town,
dancing.
Hit us up
with the ballroom dancing. Stop. No, but if you are a golfer or a mountain biker,
Joe, do you want to dance? Is this like
let's dance? Let's just dance.
I think she does. I think,
but we're gonna do it the Zoom way.
Did you see his frame just now,
dude? He had a good frame.
I need to see that.
Can
I see that again?
Do
please?
that again.
Yeah, his
look at
frame.
this.
Look,
whoa!
His shoulders are.
He's got like lambada action. That's right. Just lift up those elbows a little bit, and we're
dude. That one word haunts me to this day is frame, because that's what everything is on that show.
Yeah. No.
Oh,
that's
dude.
pretty good. I'm very impressed. A 10. You get a 10?
10.
From
10
me.
from everyone.
I never got
10
a 10. Damn it. I never
Did you not? Oh, no, you didn't.
I know. No, I didn't. Well, listen, man.
Did you win?
I should have, but no. Actually, a bachelorette won.
Yeah, for the
Caitlin Bristow
70th
won.
time. They always win those bachelorettes. Oh, you could be the first bachelor to win.
Yeah.
Because the bachelors that come on this show, man, they have 2 left feet, but the bachelorettes, they rock it.
Yeah, this is very true. But yeah, man, whenever you're on the West Coast, look us up for sure, man. And we definitely got to hang for sure.
In your yellow pages, you'll see our faces right there. Remember pages?
I'm in the book. No, I'm kidding. But dude, thank you so much for coming on today, man. And
congratulations.
Yeah,
yeah.
Congrats.
I mean, you really are a true inspiration. So
Congrats
keep
all
doing
you
what
guys,
you're doing.
Man, this was fun and easy. I mean, this is the kind of this is my wheelhouse. So this is like I could kick it like this all day with you guys. So thank you.
Likewise,
dude.
likewise.
Thank you.
Absolutely, man. All the best to the missus.
See you on the dance floor.
Thanks, Zach.
You too.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's crazy how much we have to pay for outdated, impersonal healthcare, and even crazier that we all just accept it. It's time to face facts. Healthcare is backwards. Luckily, there's Forward, a new approach to primary care that's surprisingly personal and refreshingly straightforward. Forward never makes you feel like just another patient. Backed by top-rated doctors and the latest tech, Forward gives you access to personalized care whenever you need it. Using in-depth genetic analysis and real-time blood work, Forward's top-rated doctors provide you with in-depth insights to better understand your genetics, mental, and physical health. They then create custom, easy-to-understand plans to help guide you to achieving long-term health. With Forward, you get unlimited in-person visits with your doctor and access to care anytime via the Forward app, all for one flat monthly fee. It's time to stop accepting backwards healthcare and start moving your health forward. Visit GoForward.com today to learn more. That's GoForward.com.
The air we breathe, the water we drink, the soil that grows food for our families. These basic elements are essential to healthy, happy lives. America's corn growers think so too. Across the country, they're pitching in every day and doing the work to produce food and fuel that is healthy in a sustainable way. Go to ncga.com to learn more about how corn farmers grow a more sustainable future for us all. That's ncga.com.
After all that planning, it's happening. Your DIY closet renovation is finally becoming a reality. Question is, where do you put your things while you work? CubeSmart has you covered with month-to-month leases and self-storage solutions that make it easier to get organized. Online or in person, getting self-storage is convenient and fast. And because DIY renovations can easily go over budget, it's great that CubeSmart is offering up to 25% off your monthly rent. Say goodbye to before and hello to after with CubeSmart Self-Storage. Visit CubeSmart.com for more details.
All right, you guys. So, again, thank you so much to Zach Clark for hopping on and telling us his story. And, guys, literally go and check out his amazing, amazing program, Release Recovery. Mm-hmm. And if you know anybody who's struggling, point them in the right direction. It's a great, great thing that he's doing out there. So we're going to wrap things up here with your emails. We love getting your questions, as always. So, Share Bear's got a question, I think, for me.
So, okay, this is the first email. Madeline. This is from Madeline. Hello, Madeline. Thank you for your question. Many of your guests I have loved hearing, but the best, I think, was AJ's wife, Rochelle. My fiance has an addiction, and for the most part, he has worked on recovering, but recently his conversations turned back to show his addictive qualities, and it worries me for our future. As a partner, I try to be there in any way I can and make sure the resources are there, but at what point is it too much? In the midst of the addiction, do you consider the partner? As his partner, what do you suggest I do for myself to preserve my mental health so it's not brought down again by his actions? What would you have wanted your partner to know/do in the midst of the addiction and in recovery? AJ.
Okay, Madeline. You know
a few
what?
Questions.
So, well, yeah, but I can generalize that really, really quickly. You know, as a partner of an addict, you know, at the end of the day, they are walking their own path. there is really nothing that you can do for them, but there is something you can do for you. There is a program called Al-Anon, which is for the significant other or the sibling or parent of an addict. And there is an amazing support group there that basically walks you through the same program initially that your partner is actually going through. And it does just kind of help you see things in a different light and see things kind of as close to on the plane of the addict as you possibly can. My wife is in Al-Anon. It's helped her immensely to be able to really understand the way that my alcoholic brain thinks.
It lets you speak the same language.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? In which then the communication is so much improved. And that's the thing between anybody that's with someone in recovery is being able to communicate and be on the same page. And that's why what AJ just said is so important.
Yeah. I mean, Madeline, just try to be patient. And, again, it is all about communication. I think, like, for example, the last thing I'll say is, my wife and I's communication and our relationship has gotten like 100 times better since I've been sober, especially this time around, because A, I'm taking it seriously, and B, look, we as addicts, there is always going to be moments where even if we don't pick up a drink or drug, that there will still be addict traits that come out in many facets of our life. So just be patient and understand that it's not meant directly towards you. And again, look into Al-Anon. It really has helped a lot of people that are involved with addicts. So.
Did it help you and Rochelle, AJ, like when she versus her not being in Al-Anon?
Yeah, I think if she had not taken that path, I don't think we would have made it this far, to be honest. Even if I had gotten sober sooner and stayed sober, I still think, because there are still traits that resurface from time to time, I think she would have been too far gone to really recover from that.
Right.
So,
and like you said, it's the communication, and then that leaves room for that. Yeah, obviously.
And the only other thing I'd like to add to that is it seems like the alcoholic is the one that needs to heal, when in fact, both sides need to heal.
Yes, absolutely.
And Al-Anon helps you heal and be less afraid, and in turn, not as angry and able to
understand.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yes, you just said it. Understand.
Should we go to the next email? Thank you, Madeline.
Yes. All right. The next email is from Trisha. And she says, what do you do when you have feelings for someone, but you're too nervous to see if they feel the same?
Just say your feelings, girl.
Yeah.
Say
I mean,
who cares what they feel?
Get out of the friend zone. That's the only way to get out of the friend zone is if you are just, rigorously honest. Just be rigorously honest. And, look, but be prepared.
Right.
That if the reaction is not what you hope, that it won't affect your friendship or your relationship with that person.
But I think you'll forever regret it if you do not express your feelings to that person.
Absolutely.
Always wondering why,
Yeah.
Or what if.
I'm with you guys.
Thanks, Renee.
I'm with you actually right here. In this moment.
Thank you, Trisha and Madeline.
Yes, thank you, Trisha. Thank you, Madeline. And thank you, everybody out there, for tuning in to another episode of Pretty Messed Up. And we will see and talk to you guys next time. All y'all stay safe out there.
Follow Pretty Messed Up on iHeartRadio or subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
The air we breathe, the water we drink, the soil that grows food for our families. These basic elements are essential to healthy, happy lives. America's corn growers think so too. Across the country, they're pitching in every day and doing the work to produce food and fuel that is healthy in a sustainable way. Go to ncga.com to learn more about how corn farmers grow a more sustainable future for us all. That's ncga.com.
In a rapidly changing world, people wonder more and more about where their food comes from and how it was grown. The farmers who grow America's corn understand how important this is and want to share the stories from our farms of how we are working to grow an incredible crop that can be an answer to sustainability questions and is grown by men and women who value the air, water, soil, and our natural resources just like you. To find out more about how corn farmers are working to feed and fuel a vibrant economy and healthy planet, visit ncga.com. NCGA, a commitment to the future.
Do you wonder where your food comes from? More and more people do. America's corn farmers work hard every day to grow a crop that you can be proud to serve your family. And they're doing it with an eye toward sustainability, caring for water, air, soil, and resources that fuel healthy families and more sustainable products. Take a look to find out how farmers in rural America work to make life better for all of us, from cities to their rural communities. Learn more at ncga.com. NCGA, a commitment to the future.